So the more information comes out about this email scandal, the more it's becoming clear that the outcome is already determined. They're going to be releasing documents to the Republican Party, the RNC, the Republican National Convention, about a week before the convention. Or sorry, was it the RNC, the Republican National Committee? But they're going to be releasing documents to them. There where the documents go, about a week before the election. Now, I mean, I'm not saying there's a vast right-wing conspiracy or something. Who would say something like that? But I do certainly think that it's pretty clear that there's elements that are using this. Like it's not. What's happening is being calculated to inflict maximum damage on her. It's obvious, okay? So like it's a setup, and we need to stop, or everybody needs to stop thinking that this is something that's unknown, something that it's not clear how this is going to turn out or whatever. It's very obvious that whatever you think of the server in the house or what she did, or whatever you think about all of that, the way this is unfolding is a takedown, right? Maybe she did break the law, although I believe that the law that she's being charged under didn't exist at the time. So my understanding of it is that what she did was kind of stupid, but it was probably more out of an ignorance of technology than anything else. Not realizing that a home server is less safe than some other option, right? Thinking that, well, it's the same operating system, and if you put it behind a firewall, see, it is possible to actually secure a home server better, depending on how you do it, right? Because it's isolated. If you're on the network and you break into the network, then you've got access, right? If you isolate a home server and when you put it behind a strong enough firewall, then that's actually safer, right? But what she's my understanding is that they're claiming that she sent out emails of information that contained information that was at the time not classified, but has been marked as classified since then. And so, I mean, I haven't said much about this because it kind of struck me as political from the start, and Sanders has his motives. I think the reason he hasn't talked about this is because he knows it's bullshit. He's trying to spin it around in a way that makes him look better, right? He doesn't want to engage in negative politics or whatever else. My best guess is that he just simply knows that it's nonsense, and he doesn't want to get into a debate about nonsense. He wants to talk about real issues, right? But that's not going to stop the Republicans, or whatever deep military establishment it is that's pushing this, that does not like her. Okay, we have to understand this. Despite all of the ink that's been spilled, all of the money that's flowing around, Clinton is not, never has been, and never will be the establishment pick. They hate her. They ran Obama against her. And they may be picking Trump over her. She is really not trusted. Even the bankers don't even trust her, okay? We talk about how untrustworthy Clinton is to the general population, to pundits, to everybody. The people inside don't even trust her. She wants to be the establishment pick. She spent her whole life trying to be that. But they don't want her. They don't trust her. Even the bastards. And she's tried endlessly. But she can't win their trust. They hang on to her like a sap, right? In case of emergency. They play her like a fool. And they nearly had to break the glass. Because they weren't sure about this Trump thing. But it does seem like Trump is coming around. Let's rewind again. Who was the establishment pick in 2008? Who was it, guys? Okay, it wasn't Clinton. It wasn't McCain. It was the guy who won, Obama. Funny how the establishment pick always wins, isn't it? Who got all the media? Yeah, a lot of people understood what was happening. A lot of people didn't. But you could look it up. Lots of people understood what was happening clearly. I was one of them. Even the way that he got the crowds to react. Like, you could tell that there was like deep psychological manipulation under it. It was like some kind of a cross between like a sermon and a socialist rally, right? You go to the socialist rallies, you get people, like, whose street, our streets, and this kind of chanting back and forth, right? It's a thing. And you go to a church and you get you get the call and response kind of thing, right? And he was mixing them up. And it felt like you were attending a service. And I remember watching hey, a lot of people had a lot of very diverse reactions. It was the big speech in Chicago there, when he won. I remember watching it. And I know a lot of people were kind of focusing on the race issue, right, and the reactions, and this big kind of change that had happened. Everybody felt like something important had happened, right? What I remember from watching that speech, and I watched it I streamed it on the internet. I actually did not have TV at the time. Hadn't had TV for years. Have not had TV since, but I streamed it on the internet. And I just remember thinking that these people are brainwashed. That was my takeaway from the big, I guess, what was it, in Hyde Park, the big speech in Hyde Park. When he won, it was like, this is, like, there's thousands of zombies here, and they've just been brainwashed to the core. And if you think that's a successful campaign, great. But, I mean, it was what it was, which was the banking class using very sophisticated tools of control to manipulate people into doing what they wanted. And it worked. Now, I'll leave it to the journalists to determine if we've been subject to a charade over the last year with Trump. Whether was there ever really a conflict between Trump and the Republican Party? Or is this just a big production? Is it all drama? Is it a charade or is it real? I think that's something that we'll learn over the upcoming years as some information comes out. I'm skeptical. I think I've seen enough to come to the likely conclusion that there never was a conflict between Trump and the Republican Party, that this was the script, so to say, and it worked, right? But whatever it is, okay, whether this is a sham or not, Trump is coming around very rapidly, okay? He's adopting more and more establishment positions. He's getting more and more establishment media. He's going to be the same as every other Republican candidate ever. The establishment candidate is Donald Trump. And it seems to me with the way that this whole fiasco is unfolding with the emails, they're in the process of taking Hillary Clinton out to make room for him to walk in. Okay? The media, the establishment media, quote unquote, is going to do its job, which is going to be a massive assassination of Hillary Clinton to put Trump into the position that they're opening up for him. Doesn't mean she won't go down without a fight, but we're going to see this start to shift, right? So expect it within the next few weeks, I'd say before August anyways, expect to start seeing coverage on news sites like MSNBC, CNN, etc. Expect to start see the coverage change away from kind of a bias that was in. Up until now, what we've seen on the major news sites is a bias in favor of Clinton, and massive skepticism towards Trump. What you're going to start to see shift over the next few months is the position that Hillary Clinton is being disqualified because of her legal challenges, and sort of tacit support of Trump as a consequence of that, and that will eventually shift over in the fall to being hostility towards Clinton because of the scandals and full support for Trump, right? So the email thing is going to be used as the excuse for the media to shift its coverage, and expect to see it. The people that are going to be most shocked by this are Sanders supporters, who no doubt have overestimated just how cozy Hillary is with the big money. Again, she wants in, right? But they don't trust her, and maybe there's a lesson there, right? That scheming your way to the top only gets you so far. Eventually, once you've screwed over enough people and you've proven yourself untrustworthy to a certain point, those knives end up in your back, and they don't disappear, right? It's 2 cycles in a row where they led her down the path, and in the end slaughtered her. This is going to be the final destruction of the Clinton dynasty, and nobody's going to be happier about that than the banking establishment, which we should recall had to fight Clinton to take out Glass-Steagall.